So, who can think of a time that they are leading a staff meeting, a staff training, and they realize that their staff is not paying attention anymore, their eyes glaze over, like, okay, crap, what's going on? Or you're like me, that if everybody's not smiling, then you're doing everything wrong. So, thinking about that, we hire a lot of active staff. That's just kind of what we do in camp. So how do we get those active staff to sit still, to pay attention for those different types of activities? We let them fidget. Research increasingly shows a focused person is not necessarily the person who's sitting at a desk. Realistically, the person who's sitting at a desk for 8 hours straight isn't the one that's getting the most done. It's not the person who's the most focused. That's just kind of what they're doing with their time. In camp, and especially the meetings, think about the policy meetings, think about the tough stuff, going through child safety, all those different things. Physical fidgeting sometimes doesn't quite work, but thinking on the positive side for the times that it does work, foot tapping, bouncing your legs, things like that, it's an awesome way to do it. Getting the blood flowing is just a healthy way to keep focused and to keep working. Fidgeting, thinking about all the fried food at camp, burns calories. Everybody's happy. Different things like that. But knowing camp and knowing everybody, we know how important being active and physically active, but sometimes, as I said, it's not the time and the place for the meetings. So what do you do about that? Let's think about something different. How about bringing in fidget toys? Last year was fidget spinners, but sometimes there's some toys that can be a little bit too distracting and things like that. That's okay. For some people who may struggle with paying attention, movement can increase alertness, help them stay tuned, and help them perform better cognitive tasks by occupying different parts of their brain. Fidgeting can serve as a type of ritual for some people. Think about something like a worry bead. Think about the stone that you picked up at the beach that you just kind of keep in your hand. It pulls you back to the situation and focus. It kind of gets you focused for the different time. And for some, fidgeting does not distract them. It simply helps them narrow their focus and attend more carefully at the task at hand. For many children and adults who do not need this type of tool, or some people that don't use the right tool, can you guys think of a type of thing that somebody might be playing with that completely distracts you type group? Pen, pencil? And sometimes that is so entirely distracting. So we need something a little bit quieter, a little bit more focused. But with that said, people fidget all the time, and it doesn't make a difference to the rest of the group. And it's kind of awesome that way. So what are some options for that quiet, kind of focused fidgeting during staff meetings, staff trainings, different things like that? I saw recently on the Summer Camp Professionals Facebook page, by the way, if you're not on it, it's an awesome resource. I think it was Jason from Kentucky, talked about doodle pages for part of your staff manual. Bring some color pencils. Doodling doesn't harm anybody. It makes them look at the page that much more and kind of gets them engaged. So bring colored pencils, stress balls, just something just to squeeze and things like that. Koosh balls, bring back the 90s because they're absolutely awesome. The silly putty, or my favorite, Play-Doh. Play-Doh is really easy to make. It's not really expensive. You can either buy it if that's part of your budget, or I made all this Play-Doh on Tuesday night with flour, salt, cream and tartar oil. Really easy, really quick, and awesome like that. So what are other ways that you guys could keep your staff engaged during staff meetings, especially for those tougher conversations?
A change of scenery.
Yeah, absolutely.
30-second dance party.
I love that Sarah gives handouts for her talks and presentations that you can fill in the blanks as you go along.
I tell the staff at the beginning that if they, because as some of you might have noticed, I never really stop moving. I stand up or they stand up, like they're encouraged to sit, stand, move, or sit on the floor if that is what they need to do in order to listen. Like if they need to pace the back of the room in order to listen, then they pace the back of the room.
And the last thing that I'm going to end with is kind of a brain break. So when movement is allowed, you can take a second to do it. So I'm going to ask everybody to stand up. First thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your right leg, you're going to cross your left leg. right hand over your left hand, intertwine your fingers, and you're gonna bend and try to touch as far as you can go. You guys can stand up when you're ready. So the cool things with movements like that is two, simple movement, as I said, is an awesome way to get the blood flowing. And part two, cross brain exercises, engages your brain in a little bit. So anytime that you're crossing different spheres of your body, it's an awesome way to kind of shake up the brain. So thank you guys.